All right, diving right in, folks. This deep dive is all about you. And today we're cracking open A Happy Pocket Full of Money by David Cameron Gikandi.
Ah, Gikandi. Interesting guy.
So let's unlock his secrets to, well, a happy pocket full of money. I'm ready for some financial abundance and happiness.
You know, what's funny is Gikandi wasn't always a wealth guru.
Oh, really?
Huh.
I kind of assumed he just manifested it all out of thin air.
Yo, he actually struggled for years to make the law of attraction work for him.
Huh. So what was the issue? Was he just not wishing hard enough?
He was bumping up against his own beliefs.
His beliefs.
Yeah, growing up, he had this idea that money was hard to come by, you know? Scarce. And that totally clashed with his desire for, well, a happy pocket full of money.
So it's not enough to just want something. You got to believe it's possible, too.
Bingo. Gikandi says our thoughts and beliefs, they actually shape our reality. He even uses quantum physics to explain it.
Quantum physics. Okay, now you're going over my head a bit. I barely passed high school physics. How can my thoughts actually affect the real world?
Think of it this way. At a really tiny level, everything's energy, right? Vibrating. And quantum physics suggests that even just observing something can change it. So if you're always focused on what you don't have, on scarcity, you're kind of attracting more of that into your life.
Oh, so if I keep stressing about bills, I'm actually drawing more financial problems to me.
You're getting it. Instead of wanting, Gikandi says to focus on desiring. Wanting means focusing on what you lack. Desiring, well, that's about moving towards something, you know, with joy.
Okay, I like where this is going, but how do I actually do that?
Let's say you're dreaming of a vacation, right? Instead of, I want to go, but I don't have the money, try, I desire to experience this amazing trip, and I'm attracting the resources to make it happen.
Ooh, I like that. It's subtle, but it feels way more powerful.
Right. It's like you're shifting your whole energy around it. You're open to possibilities.
Okay.
Which leads us to Gikandi's 4-step process for creation.
Okay, I'm all ears. Hit me with those steps.
Being, then thinking, then speaking, and finally acting.
So it's not just about doing. It's about cultivating the right mindset first.
Exactly. Being is the foundation. Like, are you stressed about money? Anxious? That's a sign you're not quite aligned with abundance.
So my feelings are kind of like a guide then.
Your inner compass. Feelings of peace, joy, gratitude, that's the good stuff. Remember, happy circumstances come from happiness, not the other way around.
Wow, this is already making me rethink things. And, speaking of shifting perspectives, Gikandi has some interesting ideas about time, doesn't he?
He sure does. He says the only real time is now. Challenges that whole linear view of time.
Hold on, so we should just ignore the past and future.
It's more about understanding that they exist within this bigger space-time continuum. Think of it like every possibility already exists. Your awareness determines what you experience.
So it's like choosing what movie to watch on a streaming service.
Kind of. And he has this great analogy about tunnels under a city. There are many routes to get where you want to go, some shorter, some longer.
So as we grow our wealth consciousness, we can find the shortcuts.
Exactly. By shifting our beliefs about money, focusing on the present moment, we become more aware of those infinite possibilities.
This is mind-blowing stuff. It's like wealth and happiness, they're intertwined.
They are. And that brings us to another key part of Gikandi's philosophy, purpose.
Okay, purpose. This is a big one. How do I even figure out my purpose? It's such a daunting question.
Gikandi believes we each choose our purpose before we're even born. He encourages us to think about what brings us joy, you know, what we're passionate about, regardless of what others expect.
So it's about following your own internal compass, not someone else's map.
Exactly. Once you find what truly lights you up, you can set goals that are aligned with that, and that's when things really start to click.
My mind is already buzzing with so many ideas.
We've just scratched the surface. Next, we'll dive into Gikandi's ideas about giving. Spoiler alert, generosity can actually create a flow of abundance.
Can't wait to unpack that. Stick around, folks. This deep dive is just getting warmed up. All right, let's dive into this whole giving thing. Gikandi really emphasizes generosity, right?
Oh, absolutely. He's all about giving freely and cheerfully, no strings attached. But I gotta admit, when I first read that, I was kind of like, hold on a sec.
Yeah, I get it. If you're struggling financially, giving away money seems counterintuitive.
Right. Like, shouldn't you be saving every penny?
Exactly.
But Gikandi's point is that giving actually creates more abundance. It's about trusting that there's always enough to go around.
So it's another mindset shift. From scarcity to abundance.
You got it. Even if you're not seeing abundance reflected in your bank account yet, when you give freely, You're aligning yourself with that energy.
It's like you're telling the universe, hey, I have so much that I can share.
Exactly. And it doesn't just have to be money. Time, skills, attention, a kind word, just, being there for someone. It's about that overall attitude of generosity.
This reminds me of Gikandi's idea of oneness, that interconnectedness of everything.
Oh, yeah, totally. He believes we're all part of this big web of energy and consciousness. When we harm others, we're ultimately harming ourselves, right? And when we help others, we're creating a more abundant world for everyone, including ourselves.
So giving is like acknowledging that connection.
Exactly. Our actions have this ripple effect. And Gikandi even brings up Hitler to illustrate this.
Whoa, okay. That took a turn. What does Hitler have to do with giving?
He's saying that Hitler's rise to power, well, it couldn't have happened without, in a way, the world's cooperation, even if it was unconscious. He's suggesting we all have this responsibility to, raise the collective consciousness.
By being more peaceful, fair, generous ourselves?
Right. It's like we each play a role in creating a better world.
But sometimes it feels like my little actions, they don't really matter on a grand scale.
But remember the butterfly effect. Even a small action can create huge changes. You never know the ripple effects.
Okay, I'm seeing it. But shifting gears a bit, where does happiness fit into all of this? We've talked wealth, purpose, giving. Isn't happiness kind of the ultimate goal?
Well, Gikandi would say happiness isn't something you find, it's something you create.
So happy circumstances don't automatically equal happiness.
Nope. It starts with you, with your inner state, peace, joy. That's where it begins.
But how do you actually cultivate that inner peace when life throws you curveballs? It's easy to be happy when everything's great.
That's where living in the now comes in. Gikandi says our problems, they mostly live in the past or the future, right? When you're fully present, you find this peace that transcends those worries.
Sounds good, but how do you actually quiet that mental chatter? My mind never stops.
Meditation, mindfulness, it's about training your attention to focus on the here and now.
So instead of dwelling on the past or worrying about what might happen, I should focus on what I'm doing right now.
Yes. And it's not just about being present, it's also about choosing your thoughts. Focus on the uplifting ones, not the ones that drag you down.
It's about taking responsibility for your own happiness.
Right. Happiness is our natural state, Gikandi says. We just forget it sometimes, get caught up in the illusions of the world.
And this ties back to his idea about duality being an illusion, right? Pleasure and pain, they're two sides of the same coin.
Exactly. When we move beyond that dualistic thinking, we experience a deeper joy. We stop resisting what is and embrace the whole experience. He uses that analogy of the lily bulb.
Oh yeah, the bulb might not look pretty, but it contains the potential for a beautiful flower.
Right. Similarly, what's happening right now, even if we don't like it, might be leading us towards something amazing.
It's about having faith in the process.
And trusting that even our failures are actually lessons, which leads us to his idea of detachment.
Detachment, isn't that the opposite of setting goals and taking action?
Not quite. It's more about letting go of being fixated on a specific outcome. When we're too attached to a certain result, we create resistance.
So we set the intention, take action, and then surrender to how it unfolds.
Yep. Trusting that the universe has got your back. Remember that question Gikandi asks. If everything already exists in the space-time continuum, what does it take to shift your consciousness to experience the wealthy and happy version of yourself?
It really makes you think. We have way more power than we realize.
We are the creators of our own reality. And by aligning our beliefs, thoughts, actions with abundance, well, we can manifest an amazing life.
This deep dive has been a total game changer for me. I'm seeing things in a whole new light.
Me too. I think we've really covered the heart of a happy pocket full of money. We've gone deep.
Yeah, we've explored so much. Beliefs, time, purpose, giving, happiness. It's been quite a journey.
Okay, so we've explored a lot of Gikandi's big ideas, but before we wrap up, I'd love to get practical. What can our listeners actually do, like right now, to apply this stuff?
Ah, yes, from theory to action. Let's distill some wisdom from Gikandi that you can use today.
I'm ready. Hit me with those actionable steps. Well, first up, remember those limiting beliefs we talked about? Time to do some digging. Examine those deep-seated beliefs about money, success, all of that.
I think a lot of people might not even be aware of those beliefs. They're so subtle.
Exactly. They operate under the radar, shaping our reality without us even realizing it.
Yeah.
Pay attention to your thoughts, your language. Like if you catch yourself saying, I'm bad with money or rich people are all greedy, that's a clue.
So What do you do then? How do you actually change those beliefs? That seems tough.
It takes effort, for sure. Repetition helps. Gikandi's a big fan of affirmations. Replace those negative thoughts with positive ones. Abundance flows into my life effortlessly, things like that.
A visualization, right? He talks about that too.
Oh yeah, visualization is powerful. Vision boards, journaling, whatever works for you. Spend a few minutes each day really seeing yourself living those goals. Feel it, the joy, the gratitude.
Like you're already there.
Exactly. And don't forget that shift from wanting to desiring. Instead of, I want to buy a house, try, I desire to live in a beautiful home that brings me peace, and I'm attracting the resources to make it happen.
I can feel the difference even just hearing those words.
Right. It's about aligning your energy. And speaking of alignment, connecting with your purpose is huge.
Okay, purpose. This is where I get stuck. It feels so big, like, how do I find the purpose?
You don't need just one purpose. It's more about identifying those core values, the things that make you feel alive, energized.
So it's more about exploring, figuring out what brings you joy.
Exactly. Then you can set goals that are actually aligned with those things, and that's when things really start to flow.
This reminds me of giving, too.
Yeah.
Gikandi's big on that, even if you're not rich yet.
He is. Remember, giving isn't always about money. It's about generosity in all areas of your life, your time, your skills, even just a listening ear.
It's about recognizing that interconnectedness, right? Like we talked about.
Yeah, that oneness. Helping others create a more abundant world benefits everyone, including you. And when you give freely, you're showing that trust in the universe's abundance.
I have enough to share.
Exactly. Which brings us to practical money management. Gikandi is a big believer in keeping track of your finances, knowing where your money's going.
Gotta love a good budget.
He also suggests investing regularly, ideally 10% of your income, and getting good advice. Mentors, financial advisors, people who can guide you.
Building that support system.
Right. And remember, success isn't a straight line. There will be bumps. Embrace those lessons. Failures are just opportunities for growth, Gikandi says.
So don't get discouraged. Use them as feedback.
Yep. And trust the process. The universe is conspiring to help you. Let go of needing a specific outcome and surrender to the unfolding.
Trusting that it's all working out for the best.
Exactly. Remember that question Gikandi asks. If everything already exists, what does it take to experience that wealthy, happy version of yourself?
Powerful stuff. It really highlights that we have the power to create our own reality.
We are the creators of our own abundance. And by applying these principles, we can manifest a life full of wealth, happiness, and purpose.
This deep dive has been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all of this wisdom with us.
My pleasure. I've enjoyed it too.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into a happy pocket full of money. We hope you've gained some valuable insights to apply in your own lives. Until next time, keep those pockets full, hearts happy, and minds open to those infinite possibilities.
Did you get any of that?